I never thought I'd discover my fiancé's secret life while delivering homemade lasagna. It was a chilly Thursday evening, and he had mentioned his cousin was visiting. As I walked into his apartment, the familiar scent of his cologne mixed with marinara sauce, I was greeted by the sight of him locked in a passionate kiss with a woman who was definitely not related to him. My heart stopped, and the lasagna dish slipped from my hands, shattering on the floor. The crash drew their attention, and the looks of shock and guilt on their faces told me everything I needed to know. In that instant, the world I'd carefully constructed with him crumbled. He scrambled to explain, saying it was a misunderstanding, but the truth was written all over his face. The woman, who I'd thought was just a cousin, turned out to be his wife, and their home was the very apartment I'd thought was his bachelor pad. It felt like a scene out of a twisted soap opera, but this was my life, and I was living it. The betrayal was suffocating, and I couldn't decide if I wanted to scream or cry. As the days unfolded, I learned more about the double life he meticulously maintained. He was a master of deception, weaving intricate lies to keep both of his lives separate. I found out that their marriage wasn't just a recent development, it had been going on for years. He even had a child, a little girl whose picture I had once seen and believed to be his niece. The depth of his deceit was staggering, and I felt like a fool for not seeing the signs earlier. But the most painful revelation came when I realized why I had stayed blind to his lies for so long. Deep down, I had been so desperate to believe in the fairy tale of our relationship that I ignored the inconsistencies and red flags. My own yearning for love had made me complicit in his web of lies. As I stood on the precipice of this emotional abyss, I understood that the real battle was not just with his betrayal, but with my own willingness to accept less than I deserved. That realization was the hardest part to confront, but it was also the first step toward reclaiming my life.